Hello, my Fly Mickey friends. Welcome to this Valentine's Day edition of Tips, Tricks and Travel News Update from the world of Disney. And on this week's episode, Disney Plus edges towards becoming the top streaming platform. An online announcement about Remy's Ratatouille ride gets us all excited. And Shanghai Disney Resort lights up the skies to welcome in the year of the Ox. Now, before we take a look at this week's news, don't forget to give us some love and subscribe to this channel, give this video a like, and click the bell icon to stay in the know about all things Disney. First off, and Disney has smashed subscriber expectations as it reports bringing in nearly 95 million paid subscribers to the service since January the 2nd, edging ever closer to taking on platforms like Hulu and ESPN+, whose numbers currently come in at 146 million, but of course that's after years of operating. This growth in streaming was a bright spot for the company, which has struggled with depressed revenues tied to its parks business, many of which, as we know, are currently closed or running at reduced capacity. Of course, this streaming number doesn't factor in a possible boost in subscribers that Disney Plus may have received from the debut of its first Marvel Studios TV series, WandaVision, which was released on January the 15th and therefore after the official figures were calculated. Assuming the highly anticipated show has caused a similar bump in subscribers, it's quite possible that Disney Plus has already managed to cross that 100 million subscriber milestone already. Now, for many Disneyland Paris fans, you probably already know your way around the park's official app, where you can see waiting times for your favourite attractions, book a table for those must-never-miss dining opportunities, and of course use the interactive map so you don't take a wrong turn around the vast parks. Over the last few months, we've seen a couple of other additions pop up on the app, including the park entry reservation system and the new virtual standby pass feature. But DLP keeps on giving us more and more magical friendly and COVID-safe options to play with. So let's introduce the new hotel check-in service, where you can select your arrival and departure times, confirm all the guests in your party, fill out that arrival form before you arrive, and get notifications about your allocated room. All of this aimed at making the check-in process a lot more swifter, so you don't need to brush past loads of people whilst picking up your magic pass and getting into the parks a lot quicker, but in that COVID-safe way. If you haven't downloaded the app yet, it's available free of charge from all good app stores. Check out the link in the description below. Now, before we get into the details of this next item, it is important to note that no official announcement has been made, and this is just pure speculation from Disney at this time. The Disneyland Resort theme park, as we know, has been closed for almost a year now, and it's reported that Disney's chief financial officer, Christine McCarthy, has said this week that Disneyland and Disney California Adventure are expected to not reopen before at least late March, if not early April. She said, "Our current expectation is that Disneyland and Disneyland Paris will be closed for the entire of the second quarter." Again, at this point, we should note that Disney's second quarter typically ends between March the 28th and April the 2nd, and for Disneyland Paris, they have already announced that April 2nd is their expected opening date, assuming France has no extension of its restrictions. Disney's CEO Bob Chapek then added, "It's hard to believe nearly a year has passed since the start of the pandemic, which continues to negatively impact the operations of our company. The downtown Disney district and select dining and retail locations in Disney's California Adventure are currently open for guests to enjoy, and at some time next month we are expecting a limited time ticketed food and beverage experience to also be coming to DCA, which is something to look forward to. But based on California's reopening guidelines, Orange County, where Disneyland is located, has to reach the minimal tier for COVID-19 cases before any large attractions will be allowed to reopen. We'll update you on this news should an official announcement be made by the Walt Disney Company. Now, ask anybody who has been to any open Disney theme park in the last year, and they'll tell you it's somewhat of a strange experience. Usually, the parks are about forgetting the real world and losing yourself inside the storytelling and the magic. But it's difficult to forget the real world when everybody is wearing a face covering and social distancing. One of the big questions that have been pondering the internet this week from the Walt Disney World fan base is just how long it's all going to last. The Walt Disney Company held its Q1 virtual meeting on Thursday evening last week, and during that conference call, Disney's Bob was asked when all the various pandemic restrictions might go away. While it's difficult to know for sure, he did say the company were expecting rules to last through to the end of this year, but to be largely or completely over by early 2022. He added, "I believe that Dr. Fauci said earlier today that he hopes there's vaccines for everyone who wants them by April this year. If that happens, that is a game changer, and that could accelerate our expectations and give people the confidence they need to come back to the parks." Right now, though, the feeling inside Disney is that mask wearing may end up being required inside the parks for a bit longer than technically necessary. But clearly the feeling is that it will be better to relax the rules later rather than doing it too early. In other WDW news, social media was a buzz this week with the online announcement that the highly anticipated new attraction coming to the France Pavilion in Epcot, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, was in fact going to be opening on the 30th of February 2021. And oh, how the fans got excited. And to be honest, just for a moment, so did I. Are you caught up yet? Yes, in fact, February doesn't have 30 days, does it? And it wasn't even an April Fool's Day joke, but it did make for some much-needed light-hearted Disney humour during these stressful times. While we don't actually have an official opening date for the ride, we do know just how exciting it is going to be, especially for anyone who has ridden the original ride found at Walt Disney Studios Park in Disneyland Paris. For those that haven't, what can you expect? Well, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure is a trackless dark ride based on the Disney Pixar's 2007 hit movie Ratatouille. It'll shrink you down to the size of a rat in a 4D experience that'll have you racing through Gaston's kitchen just like in the film. The entire attraction uses a combination of oversized props, set pieces and screen technology to make it feel like you're racing on the floor of the kitchen. And the trackless ride vehicles are definitely the key component to making the Ratatouille ride an unpredictable experience, as it's different every time you ride it. And lastly, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure incorporates some smells you would find in a French kitchen as you pass items like ham, cheese and, yes, fish. Epcot's new Ratatouille attraction is definitely kid-friendly, but will appeal to adults and teens alike. I can guarantee you will not be disappointed. And finally, on Friday just gone, Shanghai Disney Resort celebrated the first day of the Year of the Ox with a special traditional Chinese eye-dotting ceremony in front of the storyteller's statue to bring fortune and prosperity to guests during the Spring Festival. Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse and the longtime friend Clarabelle Cow joined guests as Joe Schott, President and General Manager of Shanghai Disney Resort, dotted the eyes of the two slumbering lions, awakening them to bring them vitality and spread good luck to the resort guests and cast members for the year ahead. Mickey and Minnie were also dressed in their new costumes, designed by famous Chinese designer Guo Pei for the first time at Shanghai Disneyland. The uniquely designed red and gold Spring Festival costumes are abundant with traditional Chinese elements, expressing goodwill and hope for the Year of the Ox. If you missed the ceremony, don't worry, guests can still enjoy the Shanghai Disney Resort Spring Festival through to the 26th of February. This limited time show features a special firework in the shape of the Chinese character for cow, which lights up the night sky above the castle, sending best wishes to one and all for the year ahead of the Ox. And that's it for this week's Tips, Tricks and Travel News Update. Don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms at FlyMickeyTravel, so you'll never miss out on the magic moments from the world of Disney. And all that's left to say is have a happy Valentine's magical day.